In this video, I want to share something real with you. My actual weight loss progress. Numbers, photos, and the plateau that scared me. All of it. As I have talked about in my previous videos, I have been following a calorie deficit to lose weight. And until the beginning of this year, my weight had crept into the obese category. At one point, I weighed 172 pounds. For context, I'm only 5 feet tall, and that weight on my frame was incredibly uncomfortable, unflattering, and I did not feel like myself. But today, I'm sitting here at 147 pounds, and I want to walk you through exactly how I got from there to here, including the part where my progress completely stalled and what I did about it. Before I get into the numbers, I want to set the stage a little. I did not follow some extreme program and I did not do anything drastic. What changed things for me was accidentally discovering the benefits of eating more legumes, something I have talked about also in another video. That small change is really what kicked off this whole journey. By the end of April, I was down to 155 pounds, and that's when I decided to get serious, to actually commit to a structured calorie deficit instead of just letting things happen passively. So let's go back even further because I think the full picture matters here. This is a photo of me from November 2025. Honestly, I do not know exactly what I weighed in this photo because I had stopped weighing myself. The last time I had checked back in May 2025, I was 172 pounds. After that, I just stopped looking. I was afraid to step on the scale because I had this feeling that I was getting bigger, and my clothes confirmed it. They were getting tight, even though I was already wearing my largest size, a size 14. That feeling continued for months. I avoided the scale because some part of me did not want the confirmation. This went on until around February or March when something started to change. My clothes began feeling looser. Just slightly at first, the kind of thing you almost convince yourself you are imagining. But it kept happening. Finally, at the end of April, I worked up the courage to step on the scale, and it turned out I was down to 155 pounds. I remember just staring at that number. I had not been trying that hard, not in a structured way anyway, and yet my body had already started changing. That's when I decided, okay, let's actually get serious about this. And today, June 24th, I weigh 147 pounds. Now, on paper, that might not look like a big drop from 155 pounds over about 2 months. But here's what actually convinces me I am on the right track. It's not just the number, it is how my body looks and feels. My stomach has gone down significantly. I don't look 5 months pregnant anymore. And I say that because that's how I used to describe how I felt looking at myself in the mirror. That visual was real, and now it's changing. I can fit into my old clothes again. And this is the part that makes me really excited. I can wear size 10 pants now. They are still a little snug, but I can get them on and wear them. Just several months ago, I could hardly pull a pair of size 12 past my legs. That kind of progress, the kind you can feel in your clothes, in how you move, in how you sit down, means more to me than the number on the scale ever could. Now, I want to talk about the part of this journey that actually scared me a little because I think it's something a lot of people go through and don't talk about it enough. For over 2 weeks, my weight did not change. It sat at 148 pounds, fluctuating by just a few ounces here and there. 2 weeks of basically nothing. And I will be honest, that messed with my head a bit. When you are putting in effort and the scale just refuses to move, it's easy to spiral into thinking something is wrong, or that you are doing it wrong, or that it's just not going to work for you. But I had promised myself early on that I was going to take a more relaxed approach to this process. So instead of panicking, I sat down and actually thought about it. I looked back at late May into mid June and realized there were several events during that window that made it hard to track my calories accurately. I also ran into foods where I could not pin down the exact calorie count, which means my tracking probably was not as precise as I thought. On top of that, I started reading articles and accounts from other people doing calorie deficits, and a common theme kept coming up: plateaus, weight loss stalling for extended periods. One explanation that kept showing up is that our body adapts to lower calorie intake by slowing down its metabolism, almost like it's trying to protect itself. So I made a decision. I increased my intake to somewhere between 1,500 and 1,700 calories, or about 200 to 500 calories more than what I had been eating. The idea was to kickstart my metabolism, to basically signal to my body that it did not need to hold on to everything so tightly. And sure enough, after I made that change, my weight started dropping again. That's how I got down to 147 pounds. I'm quite proud of myself for getting through that phase, and I want to talk about why, because I think the lesson matters more than the number. It would have been so easy to panic, to cut my calories even further, to assume I was failing and needed to restrict harder. That's the instinct, right? The scale is not moving, so do more, eat less, push harder. But that instinct can be wrong sometimes. Sometimes the answer is not doing more, it's adjusting smarter. Eating slightly more in this case was the thing that actually got my progress moving again. I really hope I remember this experience because I have a feeling it's going to happen again at some point in this journey. Plateaus seem to be a normal part of the process, not a sign of failure, just a normal part of it. I have also made a change to how I track my weight overall. I have stopped weighing myself daily. I am planning to do it just once a week from now on because daily fluctuations could stress me out for no good reason. Your weight can shift day to day for a dozen reasons that have nothing to do with actual fat loss. Weekly trends are what actually matter, and switching to that approach has made this whole process feel a lot less anxiety inducing. I want to end with something I think is the real takeaway from this whole update. This weight loss journey feels much easier now, and a big part of that comes down to finally figuring out a combination of foods that keeps me truly full and satisfied for longer, even while I'm in a calorie deficit. It does not involve willpower, and I don't have a daily fight against hunger. I eat, I am satisfied, and I move on with my day. That alone has changed everything about how sustainable this feels. If you are curious about what I eat day to day, I have made a separate video covering that in detail. I will link it for you because I think it's just as important as the numbers I have shared today. So, to recap, I went from 172 pounds at my heaviest down to 155 by the end of April, and now I'm sitting at 147 pounds as of today. I hit a plateau that worried me a little, but adjusting my calorie intake and giving my body a bit more breathing room got things moving again. I am not at my goal yet. I still have a way to go, but I feel more confident than ever that I am going to get there, not because I am forcing myself to it, but because I have finally built a process that I can actually sustain. If you are going through something similar, or if you have hit a plateau, or you are scared to step on the scale, or you just need to hear that the process is not always linear, I hope this video helped even a little.